Imagine a life where there are no vertical relationships. Imagine a life where there is no one above you, there is no one below you. A life where no one is inferior to you and no one is superior to you. Your relationship to everyone else, to every other human being, is based on equality. That relationship might be different from one person to the other because you don't want to treat your partner the way you treat your colleague at work, but fundamentally, they both stem from a place of equality. Imagine a life where hierarchies just disappear. There is no inferiority, there is no superiority. We are all equal. Imagine if you would be able to view the world like this. How much easier everything would be. How your social anxiety would disappear. How your ego wouldn't be so involved in your life, in your thoughts. Imagine if everyone thought like that. Imagine if everyone viewed the world like this. This was Alfred Adler's perception. This was Alfred Adler's goal of an ideal world in which everyone implements these horizontal relationships instead of the vertical relationships. A world in which all hierarchical relationships are being removed. We can also think about John Lennon's melody of imagining a life of peace, of collaboration, not competition, right? No wars, no evil. I believe he was pointing in the same direction. It's very hard to influence the entire planet to start acting like that. Even if we took this message right now and spread it all across the internet, it would probably take hundreds of years for people to actually start adopting this really and implementing this in their lives. So influencing the mass, influencing the entire planet is close to impossible. But what we can do, what you can do, is start viewing the world like this for yourself, acknowledging how much of an asset this would be. Like seriously, imagine just walking in a room and having that safety in yourself, being so brave that you are just able to view everyone from a place of equality. You don't automatically label the muscular guy as being above you. You don't automatically label the short and shy looking person right there as being below you. Imagine a world where none of these things ever occur in your mind. You don't even think about these aspects. If you start viewing the world like this, it would make your life 1,000 times easier. It would make the lives of those around you much easier. It would make it easier for you to interact with everyone else. It would make it easier for everyone else to interact with you. And if we think about this, it all relates to ego in a way, because if we are able to detach from our egos to the proper extent, then we will be able to achieve this. Because why do we deem some people as being inferior and others as being superior? Well, it's because of our egos. That's what our egos push us to do. And really, imagine having no double standards. Imagine just being able to judge situations objectively. Not thinking about not victimizing yourself and not thinking about what's happening to you in this situation, but rather thinking about what's actually happening from a detached perspective. Imagine being able to understand people and their reasons, not being greedy and just wanting yourself to perform well, yourself to be accepted, to be viewed as the coolest person there. Because ultimately that's a point of power. When you don't even care about stuff like that, when you just have the security and the acceptance from within, you don't look for the acceptance outside. Because when you look for the acceptance from the outside world, you are automatically a slave to the other person's feedback. That's where social anxiety stems from. That's where all the insecurities essentially stem from. Like if you would be alone on the planet, if you are born alone on the planet, you would have no insecurities. Yeah, you might be worried about lions coming to hunt you or whatnot. I'm referring to the social environment in all of my videos basically. So all of these social issues would just be gone. By the way, if you were born alone, you would not even feel lonely, because there would be no such thing as loneliness. Loneliness is bound to the existence of other people. So if you would be able to actually see the world like this, not competing with anyone, you see no one as your rival, everyone is your comrade. That's a place of power. You have no limits. You can't see limits for yourself when you're in that place. You're not afraid of someone coming and outshining you, because you don't even think of the situation as a competition at all. And in that situation, no one can beat you, because you are not in a competition with anyone. Like, if someone seems more liked socially, more accepted socially than you seem, there's no issue with that, because it's not a competition. You just have your safety within. And the thought doesn't even occur in your mind that, okay, that person is accepted more than I am, so they are cooler, they are higher status or whatnot. Currently, we tend to view the world as a hierarchy. We tend to view people, some people as being above us, some people as being below us. And, when we are above some people, when we feel superior to some people, it feels good, right? It gives us a feeling of safety. It gives us a feeling of being worth it, of being accepted in the tribe, essentially. But is that needed nowadays, really? Because the environment is not that hostile. We are not threatened. Our lives are not threatened in most places on Earth. So why is there need for this? Isn't this an outdated mechanism of the mind? We complicate our lives with inexistent competitions. We create competition out of thin air. And then we're wondering, why is life so weird? Why am I so sad? Why do I have all these anxieties? And when you live life like this from a perspective of vertical relationships, it's really impossible not to feel threatened. It's impossible not to feel like your life is in danger. It's impossible not to feel like you have to adopt a defensive or an attacking mentality and attitude towards a certain social situation. Because you always see other people as your enemies. Why aren't they your friends? Why aren't they your comrades? Why wouldn't they be your comrades? You're probably familiar with that analogy of, not analogy, but rather the way our mind works from our ancestral times, when we had to label someone as friend or foe. Like, those were the only two choices. You meet a new person, they are either a friend or a foe. Nowadays, everyone can probably be your friend. There is no need to even consider people as being foes, because most people are not that evil. I want to read a quote from this book, The Courage to Be Disliked. It's a very, very good book, and it's based on Adlerian psychology. In the first place, the feeling of inferiority is an awareness that arises within vertical relationships. If one can build horizontal relationships that are equal but not the same for all people, there will no longer be any room for inferiority complexes to emerge. So essentially, these authors are saying that if you implement horizontal relationships with everyone, you will never feel inferior. Like, that makes sense. Because this dimension of inferiority and superiority just disappears. Everyone is on the same line. And again, although the relationships might differ, because you don't treat all the people exactly the same, because you build your relationships based on different principles, on different objectives, but you are not above anyone, you are not below anyone. And vertical relationships are a trap. In a way, they are rewarding, as I said, because you feel kinda good when you are above someone, you feel validated. But it's an infinite war, because there will always be someone better than you. And you can't win this war, really. So why should it be a war then in the first place? I don't exactly know how we can reach this, how we can actually implement the horizontal relationships in our lives, but I acknowledge the importance of this. I I really see this argument of horizontal relationships as a very valid and logical argument. I really believe it would be the answer to cure basically all the social anxiety issues and all the social issues at all. If you came here for instructions of how to implement this in your life, how to reach that point where you have horizontal relationships with everyone, then I can't yet teach you this because I haven't been able to master it myself. But I'm on the journey of diving deeper into this and learning more about it, implementing it in my life, and then hopefully teaching it for you to understand it easier. If you have any interesting concepts and interesting takes on this subject, feel free to leave a comment because I'm really interested in your opinion on this. It's a very intriguing topic for me, and I'm putting my faith in the idea that developing horizontal relationships with everyone is the key to solving all social problems.